welcome back to today's Recruitment 101, which is a new series that we're hosting. But today we're going a little bit different, and actually we're focusing on the hiring process, which is going to be a really interesting angle. So I'm Kerri-Ann Hargreaves of H2 Consultancy, and I'm welcoming back Liz Halls, because she was an awesome guest last time round. And I knew that this would be a great chat. So welcome, Liz. Thank you very much. Do you want to dive in and tell us all a bit about you?
Yeah, well, I'm Liz Halls. I'm an independent HR expert based in Staffordshire, and I run Tailored HR, which has been my little baby now for nearly 3 years. So the pandemic caused a bit of upset last year for quite a few people, so it all went a bit quiet, but the HR world is ticking over quite nicely at the minute. And then when you asked me, oh, have you got any recruitment 101s? I was like, oh yeah, I can definitely think of something, because I don't do much in the way of recruitment at the moment, but it's in my past lives when I've been HR managers in corporate world, it's something that definitely spent a lot of my time doing, and there's things that I could really put in Room 101 quite nicely.
And me, I actually think I'm going to have to do my own list, if I'm honest, Liz, because I'm chatting to all you guys and I'm listening to your list and going, yeah, I feel like a bit of a nodding dog, because I'm like, yeah, definitely Room 101. And then I keep writing down my own list. So I think I'm going to have to do one just H2 style, what I feel needs to bring, because, I don't know about you, but I used to love watching Room 101. It was always like one of those Friday night socials where you sat on the sofa going, yeah. But they were very personal about it. They would put people in Room 101. I'm not thinking about putting any people in Room 101, just processes, methods, old school thinking, which I think actually is very close to what you're talking about today. So shall we dive in?
Go on.
Yeah, so what is your number one that you want to throw away into Recruitment 101?
When you asked me to do this was the top of the list straight away. I knew as soon as you sent the message, I was like, right, I'm definitely talking about this. And it's hiring managers' expectations at the interview stage, or even pre-interview stage.
Yeah.
It's because when I got into HR 15, 17 years ago, you bring candidates in for interview and you ask them what they know about the company, and you will have expected them to do company research. Have you been on the website? What does it say? And the thing, the peeve that I would really think has got to be in Room 101 is you're asking people to regurgitate a load of information, and we've moved on.
I think we have moved on.
Ago.
You're right.
We've moved on.
I think you're right. Move on from just asking people to just look on your website and regurgitate what's probably been written, Liz, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. It's never been updated, and I just think it's too old school. It's boring. They need to find this information elsewhere. But also, and I think you might agree with this, it's a two-way street. You've got to sell your organisation to this individual, and you've got to build their excitement in the interview, I think. I don't think it's one of those old school questions like, tell me where you'd like to be in 5 years. They're those types of things, aren't they? But what could businesses do differently then? Let's use this as a bit of a way of educating. Yeah. So we want to throw that in the bin, stop asking them to just regurgitate everything off your website, but what could they do? How could they do it differently?
There's two things that I have on my radar, and since I've set up my business, I do a lot of business networking. So for me, like I say, it's a two-way street. You go and talk to people, you find out what they do. Can you do business with them? Yes or no? Probably not. Okay, move on. And I think maybe, this is the 21st century. Shouldn't we adopt that kind of approach to recruitment? It's not just about going, right, okay, we've got 10 CVs. Let's bring these 5 people in for interview. Let's test them, go through all of this process, and then let's offer them a job. I actually want to bring candidates in for interview, even before you've whittled it down to that many, and say, right, this is our organisation, this is what we do. Come and have a walk around, come and meet some people. This is what we get involved with. This is what's happening in this team that you've applied for this job for.
Yeah, definitely.
Is this going to float your boat? Do you want to come and join us? If so, great, we'll take you through to the next round of interviews. If not, no harm done. You crack on going your way, we'll crack on going our way. And I think, and this brings me back to the second thing that I would suggest for businesses and I did this as part of my master's dissertation about 10 years ago, you need to understand who you've got in the workplace, particularly from a hiring point of view. I worked in chemicals manufacturing for 8 years, and I'd got people that were baby boomers all the way through to Generation Y.
Right, okay, that's an interesting mix. Yeah.
That in itself is a very interesting mix of people, and I did warn senior management on a number of occasions, you're going to start losing your baby boomers to retirement. Some can't afford to retire.
Yeah.
Once you start seeing a mix of different generations, people coming in that haven't been there for all that long, there's going to be headbutting, there's going to be people that don't get on with other people, you're going to have more disciplinary situations. And lo and behold, the HR manager at that organisation is constantly juggling disciplinary issues. And I saw that 5, 6, 7 years ago when I was doing my dissertation. You know, I was sitting there thinking, this could happen, this could happen. And then you chuck Generation Z in there, people that were born in 2001 onwards, you know, and it's, you know, these people are between 16 and 20 now. Completely different generation of people because they've grown up with these.
On the mobile phone, yeah.
Every way of communicating with Generation Z has to be done with technology. And an organisation that is manufacturing, they don't have a lot of this because it's all hands-on, it's all do, it's all talk, it's all, you know, so managers need to become far more aware of who they've got in the organisation, who they're recruiting into the organisation, and how all of them are going to talk, or else you're going to be recruiting, someone's going to leave, you're going to be recruiting someone, and then it's just going to be a turnover all the time.
I think you're right, because, you know, just having one model of how you're bringing people in, your expectations, so you've got your set questions, you've got, I want them to know this about the website, and I just think there's so many more ways of communicating with people, whether you encourage them to look at your social media channels, you encourage them to look at a latest video that you've just put out there, look at white papers that might be out. You can give candidates information, can't you? So many different ways. And we've got a business that we've partnered with that actually have a really gorgeous like work for us video on their website, and a site tour, like what you said. You know, they adapted in the pandemic because they didn't want to bring people on site, which obviously we know is safe to do so now, but they put a really great video online that showed the actual business and the work and the site, so they get a good feel for it. I just think we need to adapt. We need to come into the modern day working world, don't we? Yeah. So let's vote then. Room 101.
Oh God. Yeah,
oh God. Definitely.
We're asking candidates to regurgitate what's on your website, what your company history is, you know, all bits of the corporate world. I don't think it's going to get you the best candidates anymore. So I think it needs to go in there.
I think it has to go in the bin. It's gone. It's gone, Liz. It's gone. I'm with you. So what's number 2? What's second? What's bothering you?
I've looked at this as from a hiring manager point of view, and I know recruiters get quite a bad press, and I'm not here today to hammer recruiters, and from my point of view, when I lived in the corporate world, I had 100 people to look after. I was the only HR on site, so you don't have time, so you have to partner with people, you have to get experts around you, and I had a very tight suppliers list in terms of recruitment. There were only 2 local recruiters that I used, and a handful of experts, technical expert recruiters for various other roles, and I would only work with those people because they would understand. But then you talk to the hiring managers and they say, well, I need an electrical engineer, I need him with 10 years service. Him, what about the women? I need 10 years experience. We've only got 45 grand to spend. I was like, with 10 years experience, electrical engineers now, and you talk to your recruiters and you say, can you get me an electrical engineer on 45 grand? No, absolutely not. And it took me 2 years to recruit an electrical engineer for one business. 2 years looking, until we finally accepted that we wouldn't find somebody that was qualified and experienced enough. We would have to take somebody in at a lower level and train them, and it still cost us money. And having somebody not in that role for 2 years, yes, it's a cost saving.
How much did that cost the business?
You're saving in terms of salary and on cost, but where's the expertise? Where's the cost of the expertise going into this? So it's really quite difficult, and I want hiring managers, I will hammer the hiring managers this time, to start listening to their HR managers, start listening to their recruitment partners when they say, you won't get a 10-year experienced individual for 45 grand a year. It doesn't happen.
You're
I
right.
know electrical engineers that have got 10, 15, 20 years experience, they're on at least £150,000 a year.
It's an interesting topic, because I think we always give advice. I've had a client this morning actually that rang and said, okay, I need advice around this, you know, what should I be offering for this level? We're thinking of coming to market, you know, I've seen you recruiting for this type of role, I trust your judgment. So I can give him a real honest opinion of the market. I can give him an analysis of that level. And that's why he comes and asks me, because he knows he can trust me. And because I think there's a lot of recruiters out there, Liz, and you're right, you know, some hiring managers might think, well, they're just doing it because they want the fee. They're going to tell you a higher salary because their fee's higher. And it's not about that. It's actually about you having the right individual in your business with the right skill set at the right time, and not be looking for a unicorn. Because that's what a lot of people do. They go out there looking for a unicorn, but they've actually not needed that unicorn for 5 years. So the market's moved on, haven't it? And HR professionals, how much knowledge do you have about the hiring process that sometimes a hiring manager just dismisses because they want it their way?
Yeah.
You know, so, well, 100%, Liz. There's no even question. That is going in room 101. Let's listen to the experts. Let's listen to your trusted partners, whether it's a recruiter or a HR manager, you know, or an MD, you know, whoever's got the knowledge and the expertise. Let's actually value it and not waste our time. No one has time, do they? So
don't end up like me, 2 years recruiting for one role.
2 years, like, you know, we do have clients that take several months, and we always say, you know, if we take a step back and actually review each stage that you're going through, I think we could educate you and reduce that time frame, you know, but you need to work with us and trust us. And that's the barrier, isn't it? Is it someone taking someone else's viewpoint? Room 101, Liz, it's gone.
In the bin.
It's gone. It's in the bin. So I think we've got time for one more. So I'm hoping this is juicy. I really am. I always like the third one, even though the first one is generally a punch.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is us. Just in case someone's joining in late, this is Liz and I discussing Recruitment 101, all the little things that become frustrating for us that we would like to throw in the Recruitment Room 101 bin. So what's your last one, Liz? Go.
The last one is definitely a punch, and you and I have talked about this before. It's I'm going to call it non-creativity in the post-pandemic world, but all it is, it centres around flexible working. And I've been watching the jobs market for 12-18 months. Majority of roles that I see advertised that are being recruited for, particularly in the local area, full-time, you know, 80% of the jobs are full-time hours. And we've just come out of a pandemic, and my big kick is, do people still want to be working full-time? You know, and if all the jobs that are on offer are full-time, you know, we're not going to see any creativity. We're not going to look any different. You know, people have ended up working from home 10 years earlier than the world even thought we would. You know, and then there's businesses that are just saying, right, we're recruiting, we're cracking back on. Yeah, we want you in the office. We want you on site for 40 hours a week. And I'm sitting there thinking, there's got to be a better way of doing this. We've got to get more creative. Partly, yes, some of it's hiring managers saying, I need somebody that's full time, and then HR managers are going, okay, that's great. We'll start.
That's what we'll do.
There's no questioning, but I did see one business in Stoke-on-Trent the other day were advertising quite clearly at the beginning of their advert, we are looking for full-time and part-time roles. We are embracing flexible working.
Wow.
One business that I've come across, one business. I've never seen anybody in Stoke-on-Trent advertise like that. And it's one business out of however many more. And it infuriates me.
It does me too. It's a topic that we discuss with most clients. We always, every time we discuss a brief or a project that's coming on, it's okay, so let's look at the bigger picture. Will we look at part-time people? Will we look at people on 4 days? You know, they want to work a full week, but they'd like to condense their hours. You know, they'd like to really crunch them so that they've got a better work-life balance. You know, we have candidates that are looking after aging parents, you know, so they need that ability to be flexible. And there are still far too many businesses, I have to say, that will only ever consider people on a full-time basis, despite what the pandemic has taught us. And you're so right. It's creativity, but it's also creating a modern, positive working culture and environment. It's let's have 2 people do a job share. Why does it just need to be one person? You know, it doesn't just need to be one person, does it? So let's look at flexibility, even if it is that they're hybrid working. I'd like to say, Liz, that we are recruiting for mostly home working and mostly hybrid, but we're not. It isn't, sadly, you know, and we are challenged daily, you know, and the girls will back me up on this, but every day candidates will say, are they working from home? No. Will they consider me working from home? No. Will they consider me being flexible, having 2 days working from home because it's reduced my childcare costs? My children are performing better at school because they've got mummy at home or daddy at home. You know, because this is male and female too. It's not just female, is it? And, you know, and that's a different argument, isn't it?
Yeah. And in the post-pandemic world, you know, people have experienced this hybrid working. They can see that it works. And businesses are going to start missing out so badly on talent. If they just restrict to, you've got to be in the office 5 days a week, 9 till 5, 9 till 5:30. It's, you know, and people won't want that, and you'll end up with people stuck in jobs that they can't move out of because they can't get a job on the terms that they want. Businesses will be lacking the talent to grow and move forward because they're not prepared to accept that, you know, maybe somebody does just want to work 3 days a week. There's bound to be somebody out there that will do 3 days that you can overlap with that, and you get 5/5 instead of 5/5. But businesses don't. We're still stuck in, I'll say, the 1950s. We are, because that's when the Monday to Friday, 9 till 5, Saturday and Sunday weekend. You know, and this is the 21st century. I can work whenever I want. Luckily, I'm freelance. I'm self-employed. I've got my own business. I worked at the weekend last weekend because I wanted to and I had the time. The technology is there. You know, if I get you can't flexible work. A warehouse operative role, for example. Well, you can job share it.
You could job share it, and I get that every business can't offer flexible working because it doesn't suit their business model or it doesn't work for them in some departments. I do understand, but I think for me, it's a blanket approach, if I'm honest, Liz, in a lot of businesses, you know, whereas they could departmentalise it, you know, they could make it in certain areas of their business, make it work, because at the end of the day, with the exception of a few industries, everyone worked from home for 4 months last year. Everyone. And I know that some businesses are still working from home now. And we are seeing a lot of calls to action where businesses are bringing everyone back in from the 21st of June. You know, we're seeing that now. But it worked for most businesses who functioned last year during the pandemic. From March to July, you know, most businesses didn't even return people tentatively until the 1st of July, did they? So we know it works. Let's be modern about this. Let's be creative. I love that you said a creative post-pandemic world. That's what we need.
We've got to do things differently. We've got to offer jobs in a different way. Otherwise we're going to get left behind. Businesses are going to, you know, they're going to falter because they can't find the right talent, because the talent is telling them, this is how I want to work now. Oh yeah, we don't offer that. I'll go find somebody that does. And you look in the press, and I can't remember who it was. Is it HSBC? Some of the major players are now saying to people, if you've been working from home and it's working for you, stay working from home. Don't come back to the office if you don't want to. And that's what it's all about. And I need hiring managers and recruiters and HR managers to all work together to figure out, does this job need to be full-time? Can it be done differently? How do we make it work?
I agree.
This is all we're offering. You know,
I think we all need to advocate for that the same. We need to be pushing back, don't we, on the hiring managers and the MDs of businesses that are making this decision or making this. It's a waterfall effect at the end of the day. It comes from the top down, doesn't it? And some people aren't prepared to push back, and we have it daily. We constantly push back, and I think if we all work together on it, hopefully we can advocate, because you're right, and you've used the word twice now, businesses will lose talent. Simple. That's it, isn't it? You will lose talent. And I think that's a perfect way to actually vote. And I'm doing it with 2 thumbs, Liz, because it's 100% going into Room 101. Recruitment Room 101 for creativity within a post-pandemic world. If you're not creative, you're gone.
Got to go in the bin.
It's got
Exactly.
to go in the bin. Wow, you got 3 out of 3, Liz. Well done. Not everybody has. Not everybody has. So I'm impressed. I love your style. So yeah, so thank you, Liz, for joining me on Recruitment 101, the hiring process. It's been awesome, and hopefully it's actually been insightful and valuable to anyone that's listening, because if you're a hiring manager or a business owner, what Liz has just said, so valuable, and it's right now. We're seeing all this happening. It needs to change. It needs to change. So 3 out of 3. Well done, Liz.
Thank you.